Where would you like your next ticket to go? Oh, movie night it is.
I do think people get along. I think that sometimes at the end of the day, we're so tired that we can't even imagine that. But if you sit down and have a conversation with somebody, not only do you get along, but you have a lot more in common than you thought you did.
So you have complete access to your own power. You can speak. And what that means that I love is it means that you can share experiences, you can share ideas, you can support other parents. And what we hear from parents—
I think it's such a revolutionary concept to just bring parents into a room and talk with them, because it's something that we forget. I think just as a society, we forget how important it is to communicate.
When I heard about the idea of ParentCamp, I immediately went to summer camps for kids. And so ParentCamp immediately made me feel youthful and excited. I knew it was going to be engaging.
I think it's a human need to feel like you belong. So anytime you share a story and someone can relate to it, they know they're not alone. I think we all just want to belong.
I do want to know other parents, and I didn't know that I wanted to know other parents. I didn't think I had time. I wasn't sure I had time for ParentCamp. However, after I came and spent the 2 hours, which flew by, definitely needed more time, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, why haven't I reached out to other parents before? When we go to school events, we're with our kids usually. They're running around like crazy people. They want the book fair books. They want the snacks in the cafeteria. Please don't forget to get them the pretzel or the ice cream from the food truck outside. So there's no way I can talk to other people. We're just all looking at each other in the whirlwind of the school activity. It's very fun for the kids, but just exhausting for the parents. So ParentCamp gave me the opportunity to go do something a step aside from my child, even though it was just as important for her that I was learning those things, and gave me the chance to meet parents who were going through the same thing and feeling the same thing and learning together so that we could all help our children.
So the power of sitting in a circle, you're seeing each other, you are hearing each other, and it's just more intimate that way. The conversations aren't scripted, and no one feels like, do I know enough to talk about what I'm thinking? Can I ask this question? Everybody's just sharing, and it's natural, it's a conversation, and you hear what somebody else is saying, and that sparks you to either share, or maybe you ask a question for clarification that makes you think, oh, I needed help with this.
Yeah, no, I think that there's value in allowing people to speak. They become more invested in the conversation. I think parents, they wanted to hear what other people's thoughts were so that they could be more informed about what decision they were going to make.
Because I think a lot of times as parents, as community members, you're dealing with a situation and you're like, I must be the only one going through this. And then you sit in front of a circle of people and you're like, wow, everyone's dealing with the same things that I'm going through. We're all kind of going through this together. I think that's the community aspect of it. It's like ParentCamp is a community and we're in it together.
I think we all have something to say and something to share, and maybe that's not always going to be verbal. Some are better at listening and they think, I'm just gonna absorb it like a sponge, and that's okay too. Just because you're not sharing verbally doesn't mean that you're not going to take to heart whatever the impact that had on you, that conversation, and go home and give that same message to your child or to a neighbor who didn't attend ParentCamp. I just think it's one of those things where you come to ParentCamp and you do what's right for you. That's why we came.
It was just nice to hear other parents, and I didn't feel like I was, in the counselor role. I didn't feel like I was in like the staff role. I just felt like I was a part of the conversation with the parents.
I've thought about the conversation at other times. When my daughter comes home from school and she's had this other experience and it sounds similar to what one of the other parents said, and then I can sort of just remember back to that conversation and think to myself, oh, okay, well, this was some of the advice that they were saying, and maybe we can work this into what's going on with you right now. So I do go back to those conversations, and they have continued to be helpful. I'm thinking about them even when I'm at work and someone's being a little bit belligerent, and I'm just like, we're gonna grin and bear it. We're gonna make it through this. This is a learning experience.
I I think when you're leaving parent camp, you realize we're all here for the same reason. And it's the little 2 feet that are walking out the door with us. That's why we're here.
We grew up with schools where we could walk to the school. It was in our neighborhood, and it's not like that anymore. So if you don't know the person living next to you on one side and the other side, you don't know your community really anymore. So being able to participate in parent camp allowed me to learn more about my community in addition to my school. It just made me feel more of a part of it. I really appreciated that, and I liked the perspectives, and I liked feeling like, you know what? Maybe we're not always on the same page, but we're definitely in the same book.